TFA fam, the moment is here. Something that will be etched in history forever in your fantasy league books. It's championship day, man. It's finally here. Week 17, the Sunday morning start, sit, show, fantasy game day, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that we are in the championship round. Any questions you guys have, please start dropping them in now. We already got a couple chilling in here, and then we'll definitely get to some news also as we get through the show. We will be here with you until 12:30. The biggest things that have come across: Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon likely to go. Jordan Howard also expected to play. AB, Mike Evans, and then Carson Wentz was fully cleared. So he is definitely in. I didn't realize there was another step that he had to go through, but he got through that step. So those are the biggest things here. Let's kick things off with Jay Rosa, made to the ship with lots of help from you guys. Thank you. Thank you for rocking with us. I need your help one last time. One time. Give me one time. J-Pat, Dare, Keyshawn.
I'm going Dare.
Dare for me as well. I just think he's probably looking at the highest touch total as well. The Patriots' run defense has been okay, but he's stepped right into the James Robinson role, so he's going to be getting the targets too when they inevitably. Oh my God! Did you see the spread on this game, Kev?
I think it's like 17.5 or something.
Yeah, I did not really. This opened at 5.5. And it is now down to 17 in favor of the Pats. So, yikes! That's crazy. I did not see that movement. That's wild. Walito, yes, we are. For those of you who didn't catch it last night, we did a free for all, which didn't really turn into a free for all. It was a lot of questions. You guys were crushing it in the chat, and it went until I finally pulled the plug on myself at like 2:30 in the morning. Kev, I'm sure you guys went a little bit longer, but yeah, it was a long live stream. Back at it again to help you guys out. We have a kick question here for Jay Rosa, also asking Tyler Bass or Boswell.
Good old kicker questions.
I'm gonna go Boz.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's higher field goal opportunities for him versus like Buffalo. I think most of what Bass is going to see is extra points, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I would go Boswell. The kicker late night hammer.
The key to your fantasy success. Good morning to you. New life is AB. We're starting Tom Brady or Joe Burrow. Yeah, I'm firing up AB. If he's playing, you got to assume he's good to go. Same thing with Mike Evans. There's no reason for them to risk injuries to this offense that is already pretty injured. So if he's playing, I'm plugging him in. It also depends on who else you have, but I can't imagine you have many better options than AB in this spot going up against the Jets.
Yeah, I agree.
And then for the quarterback question, I'm going Brady.
Yes.
Yes, championship week. Let's go indeed. Jacob, I see your question. We're going to get to Justin's first. Justin was rocking with us all night long last night. He's back in the chat. With Brady starting, who do you start at flex? This is one that we kind of went back and forth on. Rojo or AB?
I still go AB here. I mean, we talked about it last night. They're a team that, regardless of circumstance, regardless of the score, they're going to continue to throw the ball. I think it was 66%, of the time they're throwing the ball, highest in the league, right there next to Buffalo, kind of the same thing. Whether they're ahead or not, they're going to continue to throw the ball. So, I don't mind Rojo. He worries me a little bit. We know that with old Bruce Arians out there, the old ball coach out there coaching, he tends to have a short leash with Rojo. And so it just worries me a little bit with him. And so I would just lean towards AB.
Yeah, AB for me as well. Rank these in order and half PPR here for Jacob. We got Zeke, Aaron Jones, Deontay Johnson, AB, and Waddle.
I'm going to go Waddle.
Ooh.
AB, Zeke, Aaron Jones, Deontay. But they're all super close.
Interesting. I'm going to go AB, Waddle, Deontay, Zeke, and Aaron Jones. But yeah, they are all close. But I lean the receivers in that situation. I mean, Zeke has looked a little bit better, but he's still a little bit up and down, still splitting time with Pollard. Aaron Jones still splitting time with A.J. Dillon. And if we're expecting the Packers to just smash in that matchup, which they should, we have seen some instances where A.J. Dillon kind of becomes the preferred back to just kind of bleed out the clock. Right? We saw that a couple weeks ago when everyone was making the big deal about, A.J. Dillon taking over for Aaron Jones. No, because they were in control of the game. And that's where Dillon got a lot of his carries. And I think we could see something similar here. On to Graham. Bench one in a PPR. Swift, Damien Harris, or Zeke. That one's easy for me. I'm benching Harris.
Yes.
And then Everett or Noah Fant.
I'm going to go Gerald Everett.
I know it's super gross, but I'm gonna go Fant. I mean, it seems like Sutton's gonna play. Not that I really think that matters all that much, but no Tim Patrick, no Jerry Jeudy. I know they're gonna run the ball a ton, but I think they're also gonna have to pass a little bit as well. And I think Drew Lock having a little bit of that rapport with Noah Fant, I think should help here. Everett has been playing well, but he's just been a little bit up and down. And how much are we expecting Seattle to have to really pass here? I think we see a lot of Penny in that game and, Tyler Lockett, I think. So I'm going to lean Fant there. But if you go Everett, I wouldn't blame you just because of how gross that Broncos, especially passing offense, has been. Over to Scotty Tobias. Which defense would you start? Saints, Bills, Eagles, or Packers?
I'm going to go Packers.
It's close for me with Packers and Eagles. Those are definitely the top two here. Okay, that's enough. Man, I think I'm gonna go. No, I'll just go Packers there, so we have a consensus. They're close enough for me that they're obviously a really great play. And then CPAT, Mike Will, or Devonta Smith in a PPR.
I'm gonna go Cordero Patterson.
Oh, lordy. It's been so tough with CPAT recently. He's just, he lost that glass slipper.
Yes, but I do think also some of it is, the last couple of weeks they've been in some positive game scripts. Where he's still seeing a pretty decent, snap share in the offense. It is a little bit concerning that he lost some of his pass catching work, but this is obviously a game. I mean, unless the Falcons come out and just shock the Bills once again, which is possible, but not something I would count on. That I mean, I think they are going to have to throw the ball a little bit more in this game. I mean, last week they didn't have to against Detroit. I mean, so I don't think the passing volume was there, and I think it will be this week. And for them to have any hope to win this game, they're going to have to get Cordero Patterson involved. So, so that's why I just lean towards him. Because I mean, I look at the other two. Like Mike Williams is very boom or bust, which I just don't think this is a game that they're going to have to. I mean, the Broncos are missing like so many pieces, on both sides of the football in that game, and so this feels like a game the Chargers should be able to control. Then you have Devonta Smith, who I like, and it's a good matchup. It's just if they don't have to. I mean, now that I guess the Washington football team is talking about they're going to play both Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen today.
My God.
So, like, I don't know. Like, this doesn't feel like a game that the Eagles are going to have to throw the ball a ton. Or else, if it was, I mean, I would lean towards Devonta Smith. But I just can't trust that. And I think Cordero Patterson probably touches the ball 15, 18 times today.
Yeah, it's between CPAT and Mike Williams for me. I'm not really debating Devonta Smith here. Just, man. I think CPAT sees more of the touches for sure. I mean, the past couple of weeks, the targets have at least been there for Mike Williams, 8, 7, 6, and 9 since week 12. Man. I'm going to go Mike Williams just with the implied point total being way more on the Chargers side than Atlanta. Like if this would have been like a couple weeks ago, this would be CPAT for me hands down. But just like the way they're using him, and I get they have been in some better game scripts recently, but there have been some in there they've lost as well, and he still wasn't getting as involved as a pass catcher either. Their implied point total right now is 15.75. And then when we look at the Chargers, that's up to 26.5. So with the pieces they're missing on defense, then you have Austin Eckler coming back from COVID as well. And apparently he was talking about like that, it really affected him. So I'm going to go Mike Williams here, but CPAT would definitely be second with Devonta Smith, a distant third. Hope we helped you out there, Scott. Over to Emilio. I have Tyree Kale. Do you expect him to have a bounce-back game? I have Deontay, Higgins, and Renfro if there's worries about him. I am not worried about Tyreek.
No, I mean, he was somebody that was affected by COVID. That's why they only played on like 40% of the snaps. They didn't really need him. They actually destroyed the Steelers. And so I think he bounces back in a big way today against the Bengals. So, yeah, I'm not worried about Tyree Kale at all.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm definitely not playing him over any of those options. It would be a very short list of guys I would bench Tyreek for. Kyle Grove, full PPR, Ayuk versus Houston, Van Jeff at Baltimore, or J-Pat versus Philly. This one's pretty easily Van Jeff for me.
I'm going to go Ayuk.
No.
Is there any concern? I was thinking about this last night, actually, after we went off, whenever we were done with the live stream, that like one thing that we haven't talked about that we have seen to be a factor is East Coast teams or West Coast teams traveling to the East Coast. And this game was supposed to be a 3:00 game, then they moved them to noon. And we've seen a lot of teams that travel from the West Coast to the East Coast really just not look right. They're off. They struggle, and with the time difference and everything else, like I do wonder if we see any of that today for the Rams. I don't think it's anything going to be like significant, but it is something that kind of was thinking about last night that really hasn't been talked about at all this week for this game against Baltimore on the road. But like Van Jefferson is like the third, fourth option in the offense, where Ayuk is still probably the third option. But I don't know. Houston just continues to play really well, keep games close, and I feel like that this game could be and also kind of a shootout, and where Van Jefferson to me is a little bit harder to trust, and his target share has been all over the place, and I just Ayuk I think is in a pretty decent spot here, and so I think I would lean towards Ayuk.
I'm just going Van Jeff. I mean, I think what you bring up about the traveling is definitely fair, but I just think with as bad as Baltimore's secondary is, if they do get into a little bit of a back and forth, I think that helps out Van Jefferson. We've seen before, all it takes is one, and sometimes that's all he gets as well. But with Ayuk going up against Houston, Trey Lance being in there, we have not seen Trey Lance be a particularly great passer. Now, obviously, we've had a bunch of weeks pass since then, but I think in that scenario, I think we see a lot of Trey Lance running the ball. Kittle's still there. Debo's still there. Eli Mitchell coming back. They should be able to, maybe not blow out Houston, but I think they control that game as well. So I don't think they're going to have to get into a spot where Trey Lance is forced to throw the ball. So I just feel a little bit better about Van Jeff, even though he has been a little up and down. When it comes to two guys like that, I'm going to bet on the quarterback. So give me Matt Stafford over Trey Lance in that situation. But we both agree that J-Pat is a distant third here. Yeah. Like I said, I just lean Van Jeff because of the things I laid out. And I think some of the things that you were talking about are also warranted. Hope that helped you out, Kyle. Good luck to you this week. It's Devs back at it. Limited Mike Evans or Van Jeff?
Mike Evans.
Definitely Mike Evans here for me as well. And we talked about this before. I don't think the Buccaneers put Mike Evans in a position where he could potentially injure that hamstring further and then be without him. Like I said, they're already banged up. No Godwin, no Fournette. I don't think that's a situation. And then going up against the Jets, this isn't like they're in a spot where they're fighting for the division. They're going to put Evans out there for 10 snaps. So I think he's completely fine. And then Bills D or Saints D?
Saints.
Yeah, Saints 4 for me as well. A guy 3000, J-Pat or James Conner? And it seems like there is optimism for James Conner to play.
Oof. I probably go James Conner. Hope he can find the end zone again.
Yeah, that's where my head is at as well. James Conner for me. Big Truz back in here. Got a couple of questions for us. Let's start it off with Dak or Hurts.
I'm going to go Dak.
Dak for me as well. Javonte or CPAT?
I'm going to go Javonte.
Javonte as well. One running back and a flex here. Rojo, Javonte, Aaron Jones, Deontay Johnson.
So
Big Truz is already rocking with CD and AJ Brown.
Well, I'd go with Ronald Jones. Or no, never mind. I would. I don't know. It's tough. It's it's really tough between him and Aaron Jones, right?
Yeah, because I think
I want to flex Deontay, but
I'm going Rojo, and also
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Aaron Jones. I'm gonna go Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I get it with Aaron Jones. I think he definitely has the higher ceiling. It's just really hard for me to pass up on Ronald Jones in this spot going up against the Jets, who've just been absolutely crushed by not that the Vikings haven't, not that they've been a good run defense by any means, but I lean Rojo there. And then Rojo, Deontay Johnson for me. You're Aaron Jones and Deontay Johnson. We got everything there. Appreciate you rocking with us, Big Truz. Good morning to you, Mr. Wong. Burrow or Brady gone back and forth all weekend. That is going to be Brady for us.
Yeah.
I don't think this would be a consideration if Burrow didn't just throw for 500 yards against a JV secondary. And I think he comes back down to earth. I think he's under 275 for this game, potentially. I think the Chiefs handle that one pretty easily. Justin wants to know, we start Debo versus the bad Texans defense or AB against the bad Jets D with Evans taking away some of those touches? That's AB for me.
I don't know. I keep going. I mean, it's so tough with Debo because he just continually gets there every single week. Whether it's on the ground, whether it's through the air, whether it's making yards after the catch and finding his way into the end zone, he's just so tough to sit because his ceiling is so damn high. But it's really close with between him and AB, and Mike Evans factoring in. I don't think he sees 15 targets again like he did last week. You know what? I'm just gonna go with the guy that got you there, and I'm gonna go with Debo.
I don't hate it. They're obviously both in good spots. I would be more interested in Debo if Eli Mitchell weren't back. I mean, you see a couple more of those carries for Debo, and like I said, I just think we see a lot of running here. Debo's still going to get his, but give me AB against the Jets. And the whole Mike Evans thing does not bother me. We've seen AB produce with Evans, Gronk, and Godwin
for sure.
On the field. So, Justin, who'd you start? Need 3 wide receivers: Justin Jefferson, AB, AJB, Deontay, or Higgins.
Nice collection of wide receivers. Good for you. AJ Brown.
AB and Deontay for me.
AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson.
And who's your third? Or
Antonio Brown.
Or Rojo over one of those receivers.
No, I would not.
So rocking with the 3 there.
Yeah.
Over to Emiliano. PPR 12-man in the chip. Do I start Pittman in the flex or Osborne, Bateman, Callaway, Scott, or J-Pat?
Yeah, you start Pittman.
Yep, starting Pittman there. I'd be potentially interested in Boston Scott just in the spot that he's in if Jordan Howard were going to be out. Montez Sweat also out for Washington with I think his brother passing away from was shot Friday, I believe, which is awful. But yeah, you're going Pittman there. Also, Saints defense or the Niners. I'm going Saints there.
Yes.
PPR for first Gabe Kit, D. Will or Zeke.
I'm gonna go Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke for me as well, with the Cardinals, especially over the past couple of weeks, starting to give up a little bit more on the ground. I mean, we saw Craig Reynolds rumble for over a hundo on them. Pick 2 here for Griff, St. Brown, D. Will, Penny.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and Rashad Penny.
Yep. Porter coming through with the impossible questions. A.J. Brown or Nick Chubb at the flex.
Nick Chubb. Steelers defense has been just dreadful on the ground, allowing almost 6 yards per clip. And it's Nick Chubb. I guess there's a possibility Kareem Hunt could be back tomorrow night, but that doesn't really affect me all that much.
Happy New Year to you as well, Emiliano. Thank you for joining us. Good luck to you today, really. Burrow or Taysom for devs?
Oh, this is Burrow. Burrows. There's no S on the end.
Burrow there for me as well. God dang it, it's Nathan Daggett. Javonte, Mitchell, or Jeff Wilson, PPR.
I'm going to go.
What's it going to be?
I'm going to go Eli.
Seems like you're down a little bit on Javonte this week. I feel like I've seen you answer not Javonte a bunch.
It's just with him. It's just this offense is going to be so dreadful. I mean, it's already dreadful, and now they have nobody, and they're this entire team is on COVID, and frustratingly enough, we saw the old Vic Fangio doing Vic Fangio type things, and go back to Melvin Gordon being so it's hard to judge on a weekly basis who's going to be the guy who's going to get the touches. Yes, we have seen them. We have seen Javonte score 20, but last week, which is super frustrating. Melvin Gordon did play 53% of the snaps, comparatively to 48% to Javonte. Now Javonte did see 7 carries. Melvin Gordon saw 7 carries. 1 target for Melvin Gordon, 2 targets for Javonte. And so we saw this flip back. I mean, had he not scored a touchdown last week, it would have been a little bit different a conversation where both of them were just dreadful, last week. Now, I mean, it's hard to say a whole lot about that when you only get 7 carries when you're Javonte, but it's just tough because I don't know what to expect. Now, this is a great matchup. Don't get me wrong. Against the Chargers, but if you have nobody on offense, I mean, what are you going to do? If I think if you're the Chargers, this is pretty easy. Like, okay, well, we're just going to stack the box and we're going to make Drew Lock use whatever fifth or sixth string wide receivers you have to try to beat us. And so it's just tough. And it'd be different if I knew Javonte was going to get the bulk of the touches. Then I would definitely lean more towards Javonte than a lot of these other guys. But it's just super frustrating situation, and I can't wait for Vic Fangio hopefully to be fired because great defensive coordinator, terrible head coach.
I just want to get some of your thoughts there. I love Eli Mitchell. I'm going to pick him here as well, but you have been the Javonte guy for the past year at this point, so I was curious to get some of your thoughts, especially in a great matchup here going up against that Chargers just woeful run D that they are running out there each and every week. So how do we do this one here with flipping out Jeff Wilson for Rashad Penny here for Savvy?
I'm going to go Elijah Mitchell.
Over league winner, Rashad Penny? You coward.
Oh, I don't want to hear that. I have said Rashad Penny's name a ton last night. Yep, I'm gonna go Elijah Mitchell.
Can't believe I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Rashad Penny. Mitchell is very, very close. I just think with Trey Lance being there, he takes away some of those carries. There's no one's going to be taking away the carries from Penny in a game where, I'm not expecting them to blow them out, but that Detroit run D has been pretty bad. I just like I like Penny in that spot just a smidge higher than Eli. Super close though. I really like the spot that both those guys are in. And I did just drop the link for our Discord channel if you guys want to join that. Especially if you're in any Week 18 championships, make sure you join. We're not going to be putting out any ranking or start sit type stuff. We do have our way too early look at 2022 rankings probably coming out this week. Kev is going to have the DFS stuff as well, but we're not going to be doing any redraft start sits. So any questions you have, join the Discord, and you can ask us over there if you're in any Week 18 or Dynasty stuff like that as well. We're going to be starting to turn the page to Dynasty and NFL draft content here coming up very shortly. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you are here as well. The channel has been popping off here a little bit over this past week, and we do appreciate you guys helping us grow. Emilio wants to know if this team can win the chip. Josh Allen, JT, Eckler, Hill, AB, Chubb, and the opponent has Kupp, Devontae, Kittle, Najee, Monty, Rojo. Man, talk about a heavyweight fight here.
Yeah, for sure. I think you certainly can. I think that it's going to be pretty close, to be honest with you. Looking at this.
Yeah, I think on the other side, obviously, going up against Kupp and Devontae does not make you feel great. But like Kittle, I really don't think we see one of his boom games here. Again, with Trey Lance under center in this one. I think we just see a lot of running in that one and, limited throwing, especially in a game where they should control it, not necessarily blow out Houston, because that hasn't really worked out for a lot of teams. I think Najee can be kind of held down a little bit, and then Rojo is the wild card there. But you got to love Allen, JT, Eckler, Hill, Chubb especially. AB, I think, is the wild card for your team, Emilio, but we do like him. Our man Tam coming in. Need a flex, half PPR, DJ Moore, Kareem Hunt, or DK. Was Hunt activated?
I'll
look that up.
I don't think they've said yet that if he's going to play or not. The last I saw.
Questionable.
Yeah.
With the ankle. Also spent 10 days on COVID. Yeah.
My guess would be he does not play. Even if he does, I'm still going DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore for me as well. That DK's been super, super disappointing this year. JK, 2 running backs, 1 flex. Michael Carter, Javonte, J-Pat, Boston Scott. So let's start there with the running backs. We need 2 of those. We also have Hunt and Dillon in there as well. So Carter, Javonte, good.
Michael Carter, Javonte.
I'm going to go Javonte and Boston, or I'm going to go Javonte and Dillon at running back.
I can't sit Michael Carter, but
I just don't love the matchup that the spot that he's in.
I don't necessarily love the matchup, but I love the opportunities that he's going to get because there's nobody else. Tevin Coleman being out is a big problem. So.
And then what about the flex? Any of those running backs are we throwing in Renfro, Devontae Parker, or Ayuk?
I would go Renfro at flex.
Yep, Renfro there as well. Damien Harris doesn't really factor into that for.
Oh, he doesn't? I didn't see that. It does for me. I would then at that point go Javonte and Damien Harris.
I still like Dillon over Damien Harris. Fernando, PPR running backs, I need 1. Gordon, Scott, Dillon, Ogunbowale.
Going Dare. Ogunbowale.
Yeah.
And Packers.
Ogunbowale for me, and then Packers as well for the D. Dave M rocking with us again after last night's little fiesta. Wide receiver, running back spot here. Javonte, A.J. Brown, Michael Carter. We need 1.
A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown for me as well. William, if you Google ESPN has a pretty solid list that you can look at. I would just type in like fantasy football inactives, because if you try and look at just an inactive list, a lot of them don't start really updating until like 11:30 when those start coming out. ESPN has a pretty good list, and it'll go through it by the time slots, and you also get some defensive inactives as well. That's typically where I look. Kev, do you have a place where you look for inactives? I mean, at this point, some like the list should be updating for like the official inactives, because, like I said, they come out at 11:30. But I know ESPN.
This looks like. I mean, I usually use Twitter, but this looks like a pretty good. This is probably the list you're talking about. I dropped it in the YouTube chat. If it'll, there you go. But I dropped it in the YouTube chat for the inactives. So that's a pretty good list. It goes, second by second of everybody that's been placed on the inactive list. So
yeah, that's okay. Michael Diaz, Higgins, or Amari Cooper? This one's going to be Coop for me.
Yeah, Amari for me.
Joho or J-Pat?
I'm going to go Jarrett Patterson.
I'm going Jordan Howard. I don't really want to mess with J-Pat in this one. I think they just get boat raced. I think Howard is going to be part of that.
The only positive I can see for Patterson is I think he's involved in the passing game, and I think he's probably the pass catcher. And so, at a game where I do think they're trailing, I think that he could see a lot of pass catching work, and so that's why I would just lean towards him. And Jordan Howard, I don't know. I mean, Jordan Howard could get 5 carries or 5 touches today, with Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it's a possibility here that you don't really utilize Jordan Howard all that much. And Jalen Hurts, who's also a running quarterback.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't know, man. I just don't want that Eagles defense has been good. Asking Jared Patterson to come in and take over. I think we see him split some touches as well. I think there's a much higher touchdown upside with Jordan Howard. Over to Yvette, Gesicki, Ingram, or CJU?
I'm going to go with Gesicki.
Gesicki for me as well. Good to see you back in here, Dosh Life. Appreciate you rocking with us. Dosh does have a question. I see the other two ahead of you guys as well. I'm just going to get to Dosh's here first. 2 questions in a PPR: Debo or AJ Brown the flex? That's going to be AJB for me.
Yes.
Adams Diggs, wide receiver 1 and 2. Very nice. Also, Penny or Eli Mitchell?
I'm going to go Eli.
And I'm gonna go Penny here. It's super close though. We went through this one a little bit earlier. Dosh, Kev likes a spot that Eli is in. I like Penny with not really splitting any carries. I think we see a lot of Trey Lance in that one as well. Probably double-digit carries for him, but both in really nice spots. And then putting Jalen Hurts in the super flex. I like it. Good luck to you, Dosh. Appreciate it coming back with us. Big Hen. Penny would you start Penny or Edmonds over Aaron Jones in a full PPR? I would start Penny over Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I think you could start Penny over Aaron Jones.
And there would be a discussion to be had if James Conner were going to be out as well with Edmonds over Aaron Jones for me, but that does not seem like that's going to be the case. But I'm definitely putting Penny in over Aaron Jones. Just cross your fingers and pray this isn't a 4-touchdown Aaron Jones spot.
That's the problem with it, though. That's the issue with me
Yes.
is that they have to get there. Like I know there's always the, oh well, they're going to crush him. Okay, well he's got to be a part of that,
Right.
and so he very well could, have 80 total yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, for sure. I just think that there's fewer touch questions with Penny, and he's obviously also in a really nice spot. If Penny were going up, against the Bucks or something, or a tough run defense, then I think we flip over to Aaron Jones. But in a good spot, we saw him get the majority of the carries last week after DJ Dallas had his little showing 2 weeks ago. But that's where I sit with that one. Nicked. Dallas or Niners D?
I'm going to go with 49ers.
Niners for me as well. Knox or Moreau in a full PPR. I'm going to go Knox here.
Yes.
Braden Tubbs, Dillon or Myers?
I'm going to go A.J. Dillon.
Dillon for me as well. So I was just looking up to see if there was anything further on Jacoby. Still seeing him listed as questionable, but he got in limited practices throughout the week.
Jacoby Myers active.
Okay. Cav, 2 year guys, Parker or MVS here for Kyle D?
I'm going to go MVS.
Emilio, I see your question, but since we are on the subject of MVS or Gallup here for Chip?
I'm gonna go Gallup here on this one. I love Michael Gallup this week.
Interesting. Man. I think Gallup is the safer option for sure. So I guess that comes down to your squad and how you feel with your matchup there, Chip. I think if you need a little bit more boom bust, I'm going to go MVS there. But I think Gallup is probably the safer option, but not in love with his ceiling. I'm gonna go MVS there. But if you kind of just need like safe points, go Gallup. But I like MVS in that spot. Do we trust AB's availability with the ankle injury active? Not sure how much he actually plays.
Yes.
Yeah, we kind of touched on this earlier. This, not that I don't think a lot of teams. I think we look at it this way a lot, but I don't think a lot of NFL teams look at it this way, where it's like, oh well, they don't need AB to win. But I think with, like I said a million times now, with as banged up as that Tampa Bay offense is, I don't think that they throw AB or Evans out there in a situation where they don't feel where they feel like it's super sketchy that they could come out potentially more injured and miss an extended amount of time, with Godwin being done, with Fournette on IR. So I think if you have AB, you are playing him. And then same thing here for Mel Bauer, Christian Kirk, or Mike Evans. That one's going to be Evans for me.
Yeah, I'll go Mike Evans.
And then another one here for William, DJ Moore or Van Jeff?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore there for me as well. Any other questions you guys have, go ahead and drop them in. We'll hang out here for a little bit longer. Like I said, the link to Discord is up there as well. So if you have any last minute questions, be sure to jump over to the Discord. It's probably the easiest way to get our attention to answer some of those last minute questions as well. KJ Osborne or Scott at the flex. I'm going to go Boston Scott.
I kind of feel like we're like I think it would be Boston Scott. I just am curious what players would be available via waivers. But yeah, if I have to make a choice, it's going to be Boston Scott.
I still like the spot that Scott is in. I think he gets double-digit carries along with Jalen Hurts and along with Jordan Howard as well. Dare or Kirk in the flex? I'm going Kirk in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Christian Kirk.
The NF Toker rocking with us again was also in the chat last night. Kyler Murray, Burrow, or Taysom Hill?
This is Kyler.
Kyler for me as well. OG, Howard doesn't really bother me in terms of the Boston Scott thing. I think they control that game. I think they all get enough touches to be, flex worthy there, especially going over KJ Osborne. We've seen a couple instances this year where Howard and Scott have both gotten, 10, 11, 12, 13 carries apiece. So again, in this game, Washington banged up, offensively and defensively. That Philly defense has been playing well, so I think they put them in positions to be able to score. And I like Scott and Howard this week for that matter. Daniel Pierce, we need 3 here between AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, Deontay, and Cooks.
I'm sitting Cooks, and then I would go Pollard here. Hold on, give me 1 second.
I'm going to sit Jefferson there. We had this discussion last night on the free for all, and I get it. No one else for Mannion to throw to. Justin Jefferson is clearly their best player. They have to get him involved. He's going to see double-digit targets, but I think in this case where you have guys who have performed all year long, Brandon Cooks has been heating up the past couple of weeks, after kind of having a little bit of a downturn there, back-to-back 100-yard games, going up against the Niners in a situation where they should have to throw. Not a great defense. That is the opposite for Green Bay. That Green Bay secondary has been playing really well. Sean Mannion, whenever he's gotten his chances, has yet to throw a touchdown. He has multiple turnovers and sacks in all of his starts, I believe. And I think the highest amount that he has thrown for has been like $170. So, I mean, all it takes is one for Jefferson to get there, but you could say the same thing about, Deontay and Cooks as well. So I'm going to sit JJ with the options that you have, but I get it if you don't want to go that route, if you, feel pretty gross about doing it. I would sit Cooks in that situation, but just to agree with Kev, but I would sit JJ there personally. And then I'm going to go Boston Scott for that second one there. Daniel, appreciate the question. Kyle has the Bears or the Saints defense. I'm going to go the Saints there. I know the Bears are in a nice spot, obviously going up against the Giants, just absolutely ghost of an offense, but give me the defense with better talent also going up a pretty lousy offense as well. What do we think about 12 players on the Broncos dealing with COVID? Should I start Williams or Boston Scott? I would go Javonte here. I get the hesitation, but Javonte is in a great spot. You're looking at 2 running backs who are both going to be splitting touches, who both have good matchups, by the way, but give me the more talented guy. I think if, Denver has any hope of trying to stay in this one, they're going to have to lean on that run game with the injuries they have at wide receiver. I don't know if the Chargers have the ability to stack the box. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they don't know that their run D has been absolutely dreadful all year. So I would lean if this is Javonte Williams, I'm going Javonte in that spot.
Agreed.
Our man Tam, Connor's a no-go. My only healthy replacement is Pollard or Hunt. Any thoughts? It would be Pollard there.
Yeah. We just can't. I mean, I don't know if even Kareem Hunt's going to play. So
Yeah,
you need to
on
put
a
yourself
Monday
in a
night
pretty rough
too.
spot.
Yeah. KC Herman, OBJ, Devonta Smith, or Ogunbowale?
This is OBJ.
Yep. OBJ for me. Ali rocking with us. Saints defense, a good start. Yep. I like the Saints going up against the Panthers there in a dreadful over-under with a talented defense. Kendrick Bourne, we're starting with Aguilar and Harry out with inactives. And his incentives, rather. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is. He's been a decent option this year. Obviously, the only concern is, do they just run the ball the entire time against Jacksonville and not really, throw it? I mean, I don't think it's going to be like the 3 attempts or whatever it was that Mac Jones had against the Bills, but I mean, Kendrick Bourne on the season is almost, in terms of fantasy points per game, is almost a top 36 wide receiver. Is almost a wide receiver 3. He's dropped 10.7. And with all those guys out, it's going to be a pretty condensed target share in terms of who's going to be able to see the targets here. So I think he's a pretty decent option.
Yeah, Devs, let us know if there's anybody that you're kind of going in between with Kendrick Bourne, if we have any other options there. And OG, appreciate the sub. If we are answering your questions and you're not yet subbed, be more like OG Beam. Give us that sub. We're closing in on 2,400, I believe. We're getting close to that mark, and we're going to have content for you guys coming in the off season as well. So you're going to continue to see videos and chats and live streams coming from us.
And we also have, by the way, we also have the fantasy playoff challenge that we're going to be doing. I keep saying fantasy playoff, makes it confusing. The NFL playoff challenge, that's absolutely free. If y'all want to continue playing fantasy football through the NFL playoffs, we have the NFL playoff challenge. We had quite a few people in there last year. It was a lot of fun. I think we gave away a jersey or whatever last year. And so we'll probably come up with something again this year to do for it as a giveaway, whoever wins. So it's absolutely free. Just be sure to just jump in the Discord. Link is in the description. Link is in the comments. And you could jump in through there, and we'll be sharing it through that. So,
yeah, and it's a fantasy league for the NFL playoffs. To just
right. Yeah.
To clear up any confusion there. And you basically the way we did it last year, you can only pick the same player once, right? Once you use them, you couldn't use them again.
No. It's so the way
one
we
for
use
each
it,
team.
We used NFL.com last year, their fantasy challenge, and essentially it is you get multipliers every single week. So essentially,
if you keep them in your lineup.
Yes.
Right.
And so,
right.
For example, if you played Pat Mahomes, even though they get a first round bye, the next week you'd get a double multiplier with him. And if you think so, essentially, it's kind of smart to look at it like trying to pick who you think is going to go to the Super Bowl, because by the Super Bowl, if you play that same player all 4 weeks, then they're getting a 4 times multiplier. So there's kind of some strategy to it and stuff like that. And I think it's 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, defense, and kicker, I think is what it is. So you can change out your guys every week, but you have the multipliers there to make you make some decisions. So it was a lot of fun last year. I enjoyed it. So
yeah,
we'll definitely be doing that again. So absolutely free to join.
Yep, and we'll have a giveaway for whoever wins. Ivy Ruin, MVS, Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers, full PPR. Kev.
I'm going to go Jacoby.
Really? I did not see that one coming.
I think it's close between these 3. I don't mind Devontae Parker. This game is looking a little gross. It's supposed to be like chance of snow and some but or the Titans Dolphins game. But it doesn't sound like it's anything too crazy. MVS, I think could go either way. I think he's very boom or bust. So it comes down to Devontae Parker and Jacoby Myers. I don't mind Devontae Parker as an option either. I think he's in a pretty strong spot too. But Jacoby Myers, I think, is a pretty safe option. I think super underrated this year. Jacoby Myers. I mean, he has almost been a consistent double-digit fantasy points every single week.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for safety, Jacoby would be the play. I'm going to go MVS here. I just like the spot that he's in. What he does well, the Vikings also give up. I think they are 6th or 7th in the NFL in terms of giving up catches of 20-plus yards. So, if you kind of just need that safety spot here, I would go Jacoby. But if you need a little bit more of a ceiling play, I would go MVS there. Whoops. No, not a dumb question, Dosh. But I would not sit Najee for both those guys. Would you, Kev? Muted.
I would not sit Najee.
Yeah, not a dumb question, but I wouldn't sit Najee there. And if you have Dosh, if you have like a gut feeling on one of those guys, they're both super close for both of us. So no matter who you play, I think you're fine with playing either of them.
I do that. So here's I think the argument between the two of them, and Eli, I think in a vacuum without coming off an injury or anything like that, it's just you would say he's a kind of a smash play against Houston. Houston has really struggled against the run. They've been actually pretty good against the pass this year, but there is some concerns with Eli. You have Trey Lance, who is a running quarterback, and I could see a lot of designed runs. I think we missed a question. I'll get it in a second. But we see a lot of design runs for Trey Lance, but the matchup is so good trusting Eli. So I mean, Eli has top 5 upside. Where Rashad Penny and I think Elijah Mitchell is probably going to be. It has the opportunity to be more involved through the in the passing game before he went down. I mean, he was starting to see 5, 6, 7 targets a game. Where Rashad Penny is not going to be involved in the passing game. He hasn't been involved in the passing game. That is the role that DJ Dallas has been playing, as of late. So it's also a good matchup for Rashad Penny. I have Rashad Penny also as I think a top 12 or 13 running back this week. It's just with Elijah Mitchell healthy. Every time he's been hurt and he's come back, he has stepped right back into the lead back role and been the guy. And so I just slightly lean towards Elijah Mitchell. But if you wanted to go Penny, it does make a lot of sense because I love Elijah or Rashad Penny as well. Yeah. Where was that question?
No, we didn't skip it. We haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we have 2 more, and then we'll get to the question on Twitch from Orange 2. DJ Moore or Mike. John, why did you come back here? Change that Avi, and then we'll.
Hey, don't. Listen, John. Don't listen to him. He's just salty that Penn State got rocked.
It's Mike Evans.
Yes.
I am excited about Treylon Burks, though, John. I will say that. Very excited about Treylon Burks. Penny or Javonte in a PPR for Ali?
Rashad Penny.
Rashad Penny. Here's the question on Twitch from Orange Dose. 2 of these here out of Carter, MVS, J-Pat, Berrios. Oh, man. The undefeated season on the line. Woo!
I am going Michael Carter here. Oh, we need
and?
to. I'm going to go Braxton Berrios.
I'm going to go Carter and MVS.
I like MVS. We've seen this matchup before where he has played really well against the Vikings do struggle to limit big plays. It's just with Braxton Berrios, they have nobody else to throw the ball to. And he has the last 3 weeks. He's been a pretty consistent option. Week 14 against New Orleans, he saw 10 targets. Miami, he only saw 1 target. But then last week against Jacksonville, he saw another 6 targets. Everybody's out. Elijah Moore's out. Corey Davis is out. Jameson Crowder is out. I mean, there's so many of these guys out. I mean, they're really going to be relying on Braxton Berrios,
Your boy
Denzel
Keelan
Mims, and Keelan Cole. In a matchup, they're going to have to throw the ball. Last week, they did not need to throw the ball. They controlled that game. So they ran the ball. And the same thing, so it's just, for me, I think I go with the guy who, I think is a safer option. I think he's going to see a pretty decent target share here in this game as well. And so against a Bucs secondary who is banged up. So I'm going to go, I'm going to start 2 Jets. What am I doing? Michael Carter, Braxton Berrios. I don't mind MVS. If you want to go for the straight boom upside of MVS,
yes.
I think you can do that. It's just these other two feel a little bit better options to me. And then Jarrett Patterson, I don't know. And this being a half point PPR, I think that, even more so could sway towards MVS. So I think it's just that's how I look at it. It's between Michael Carter, Scantling, and Berrios. I just slightly lean towards Berrios. But if you want to go MVS, I totally get that as well.
Yeah, I just think whenever you have a couple of these just gross options as well, just give me the guy who has the highest ceiling. It's not like Scantling is in a bad spot either.
Scantling's in a fantastic spot.
Yeah. Like you said, starting 2 Jets with, not only the chip, the undefeated season on the line as well. I can't get myself to plug in 2 Jets into my lineup. So I'm going to go Michael Carter and MVS there. Good luck to you, Orange. Hope you pull off the undefeated season there. Ashton joined us last night as well. Sorry we didn't get to really kick it with you. Sit one here, though, with Pollard, Devontae Parker, or Osborne.
I'm sitting Osborne. Which pains me because I was actually loving KJ Osborne heading into this week without him feeling out, but without Kirk Cousins, I'm not playing. The only Viking that I'm playing outside of Dalvin Cook would be Justin Jefferson, and that's it.
No love for Conklin?
No.
Okay. Sally Crockett, Penny, Scott, J-Pat.
Oh, Rashad Penny.
Rashad Penny for me as well. Tyler wants to know Keenan Allen, Metcalf, or Lamb. Choose one. That is going to be CD Lamb for me.
Yep.
Kane. What's up, fellas? What's up, Kane Z? Rams, Green Bay, or Bears D?
Oh, Green Bay.
Yes. Green Bay for me as well. Raymond, Trey Lance, or Huntley?
I'm going to go Huntley.
Samesies, Gronk, Pitts, Knox, or Goddard at tight end?
This is Gronk.
Yep. I like Gronk in this spot. Happy New Year to you as well, Kane. Appreciate you rocking with us. Do we think Cup should be in the MVP conversation this season? If JT is, I think Cup should be looked at as well.
I'm assuming you're talking about like NFL MVP, not fantasy MVP. And so if that's the case, yeah, but it's always a quarterback. Quarterbacks are always going to win. Yes, Cooper Kupp sounds like he is right there on the precipice of breaking the all-time receiving record and receptions record. But it's going to be a quarterback that's going to win. I think it's pretty much locked up almost that it's Aaron Rodgers at this point, unless Aaron Rodgers really does something to really struggle the last 2 weeks of the season. I think it's pretty much Aaron Rodgers going to be back-to-back most valuable player.
Do we know when the last time that was done?
Back-to-back MVP? No, I'd have to look that up.
Just curious of what that would be. OG Beam, do you think Pitts can get some solid points just off of his volume? Yeah, we like Pitts this week. I think he's definitely a fine play. And like I said, he's quietly, if he had a couple more touchdowns, I think we'd be looking at him a little bit differently. He's 49 yards away from 1,000-yard season.
Well, I talked about this last night, and that the big thing everybody was talking about with him was actually I have it pulled up right here. With him last night or with this year was like everyone was like, oh, is he really going to be able to go out and put up 949 yards and 60 receptions? That's what Jeremy Shockey did. He's already passed him. He has or 894 yards, Jeremy Shockey. He has 949 receiving yards, and he still has 2 games left. And the record is set by Mike Ditka, who has 1,076 receiving yards in a season, and he's going to pass that. He's probably going to pass that too.
Ditka.
And so he is going to have the record for the most receiving yards by a tight end in NFL history. And so, well, yes, he hasn't necessarily probably paid off the 4th or 5th round pick you probably spent on him because there was other guys like Mark Andrews who was going after him, stuff like that. He's still been excellent in terms of this. And this offense has not been very good this year. I think depending on what they do next year, Calvin Ridley should be back. And if they can add another, weapon here and improve the offensive line, I think this offense can be pretty dang good. And Kyle Pitts is only going to get better.
Agreed. Appreciate the kind words, Dosh. If you be like Dosh and hit us with that sub and that like, we would truly appreciate it. Back to Mike's questions here. Amari Cooper, Gabe Davis. That is going to be Amari Cooper for both of us. Aaron wants to know any changes here. On the bench, we have Burrow, Harris, Edmonds, Moreau, Everett, and Gay on waiver wires. You switching out anybody here?
No.
Yeah, keeping that as is as well. Aaron, good luck to you. Giddy up. Pick 2 in a super flex. Russ, Ben, Mac, and Huntley.
This is actually tough because I think it's Russ and Huntley. But, man, Big Ben, last game at Heinz Field, more than likely. How do you feel about that, by the way, as being a Steeler fan with Big Ben? Like, is he a Hall of Famer in your eyes?
I
think that he is. So
I think he is too. I just don't like I become like the Hall of.
That was weird.
That was weird. I think it's become the Hall of Very Good and not necessarily Hall of Fame. I know that I rag on the Steelers a lot, but Big Ben has been the man. It was a lot of fun watching the offense with AB and Lev Bell back whenever it was the killer bees. But it's also time for him to go.
Oh, it's certainly time for him to go. I think he stayed a little bit too long, but I think sometimes because how poor he's played. But actually, though, like he threw for 33 touchdowns last year. I mean, he wasn't bad last year. They fell apart in the second half, but I mean, if you look at his numbers, I mean, he ranks pretty high among all. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's certainly going to be a Hall of Famer. And we're getting close to the point where a lot of these quarterbacks that we've watched for years are all going to be gone. I mean, he's gone. I mean, now really, I mean, you have Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady as kind of the. At least off the top of my head, I don't think I'm missing anybody else that have kind of been playing for. I mean, Matt Ryan, I guess, has been around for a while too, as well. But for the most part, these guys that we were watching in the 09s, 05s, whatever, that time frame, are all quickly evaporating.
Yeah. Yep. I'm also going to go Russ and Huntley there as well. Giddy up. Zlip 1 for the flex in a PPR. Swift, Singletary, Lockett, Renfro.
Swift.
In a PPR, I'm going to go Swift as well. Mike W. Need 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, and a flex in a full PPR. Start with the wide receivers here. MBS, Osborne, Gage.
I want to go Gage, Schultz,
Who's your flex?
I'm gonna go Dawson Knox. I'm gonna go the old double tight end.
I'm going to go MVS, Gage, and Knox. Good luck to you, Mike. One more question here for IV. Appreciate the sub as well. 2 running backs and a flex. Penny, Singletary, Edmonds, and Dillon. So we need 3 of these backs here.
We are one sub away for 2,400. Appreciate it. 2 running backs plus flex. Penny, Singletary, Edmonds, and Dillon. So Penny, Singletary, and Edmonds for me.
Yep. That's where I'm going as well. Putting Dillon on the bench. RB2 and a 12-man here for Luke. Dare or J-Pat. That's going to be Dare for me.
Yep.
Look at Walito coming through on Twitch here with the back-to-back MVP. Ryan wants to know, pick one in the PPR, Evans, Barrios, or Gabe Davis. I'm still going Evans here.
Yep.
Up, and then Ashton right behind it. Start one tight end, Foster, Everett, or Kmet.
I'm going to go Gerald Everett.
I'm going to go Foster, Moreau, but Everett would be my second with Kmet third. Hey, Graham. Half PPR on the flex, Ogunbowale, Burkhead, or J-Pat.
I'm going to go with Dare.
Dare for me as well. Tyler wants to know why we are going Lamb over Allen.
Game script for one. This is the highest scoring or the highest implied points or the highest total on the entire slate. And I think they're both good options. With Keenan Allen, but I just don't think the Chargers are going to have to throw the ball all that much, or as much, I should say. It's a great matchup for CeeDee Lamb, going against the Cardinals here, and so I just lean towards CeeDee Lamb versus Keenan Allen. I mean, Keenan Allen's not a bad option, but Keenan Allen also it feels very. I do say, I do think that they really don't have a tight end because I believe Jared Cook is out. Obviously, Donald Parham's out. And I mean, Keenan Allen's been fine. I mean, outside of last week against Houston, 19.8, 22.4, 15.5, 22. I mean, he's been really, really consistent. I think it's very close between the two of them. If you want to go with, Keenan Allen, I get it, but I just slightly prefer CeeDee Lamb here.
Yeah, well said. I agree with everything you just laid out there. Boston Scott or J-Pat for Raymond?
I'm going to go Patterson.
I'm going to go Boston Scott on that one. I just like the situation that he's in a little bit better. And we are still one sub away from 2,400. So if you want to be that number 2,400 for us, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Going to be wrapping up here soon. You can also join the Discord. The link has been dropped here a couple of times in the chat. If you want to join us over on Discord and ask any last minute questions. Susan rocking with us. Full PPR, AB, Pittman, OBJ, pick 2.
AB and OBJ.
You just going for the ceiling there with OBJ?
Yeah, and with Pittman, he is, he bounced back last week. The only problem with him for me, anyways, is just the matchups that he's going to be seeing. I mean, Casey Hayward has been really good this year, and so has Hobbs for the Raiders. They have actually done a really good job of limiting opposing wide receivers this year, and so I mean, we've seen them shut down some pretty good wide receivers this year, and so I'm just slightly concerned with Michael Pittman. I still like him as a wide receiver 3, but with the options that you have here, OBJ, fantastic matchup, and the same with AB. I mean, I just prefer those two over Pittman.
That's who Susan has in as well. Trojan back with us. Penny or Patterson in PPR. That is going to be Rashad Penny for me.
Yeah. Getting rowdy.
He's crawling around barking like that. That's his dog impression. Swift or Michelle in a PPR?
Swift.
I'm going to go Swift there as well. Ashton, appreciate you rocking with us all year and last year. Ashton's been rocking with us for a while. I saw the Phillip Rivers question. Let's get to Matt Wingo's, and then we'll finish up with Phillip Rivers. Happy New Year to you, Wingo. Lance or Huntley? We're going Huntley there. Metcalf or St. Brown? I'm going to go St. Brown. Kev, what about you?
I'm going to go DK.
And then Cowboys or the Niners, D, we are going Niners.
Yes.
In a non-PPR, it is closer for me with Metcalf over St. Brown. But I still like Amon-Ra there. Kev, Phillip Rivers, Hall of Famer, yay or nay?
It's crazy Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think he's one of those ones that like gets in, but like after being on the ballot for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's wild that he's never, that with all the teams that he had. I mean, you have to remember those teams when he had LaDainian Tomlinson and prime Antonio Gates. That, I mean, none of those teams ever made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, there was plenty of opportunities there, but you're still talking about a quarterback with almost 64,000 passing yards, 421 touchdowns in his career. Played all 16 games his entire career. I think that he probably does get in. I just don't think it's going to be, like a first ballot type of thing or anything like that. I think it's probably something he has to wait a little bit of while to get in. But yes, I think he will get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's where I'm at as well. Trojan3659 coming through with the 2400th sub here on the Fantasy Authority channel. Appreciate all you guys. And yeah, the content is not going to stop. Like I said, a lot of Dynasty, NFL draft stuff. Still got a lot of DFS to go. So we will be with you guys 365 over here.
I cannot wait to talk about NFL draft stuff. Like I'm starting to dig more into it, get a little bit my hands dirty with some of these guys that are going to be in the draft. I am really looking forward to the NFL draft stuff.
Yeah, me as well. Like I said, this week I think we're going to come out with a way too early look at the 2022 fantasy rankings. And then next week is when I'm going to start dropping I'm going to start with the Senior Bowl, since that's what we have coming up first. But we're going to be doing a lot of player profiles, a lot of NFL draft stuff as well. We'll definitely do some best ball drafts live with all of you guys too. So make sure you're keeping it locked in here. And best ball drafts are definitely fun, first of all, to have something to do. And then, I think it's a good look forward. Getting better data in terms of, what to expect by the time that, July and August roll around. But anyway, I digress. Laura and Jim, Cooperman in a PPR, Boston or Javonte?
Javonte.
Same for me. And then here we go, baby. For the chip, Galladay or Treadwell?
I'm going to go Galladay.
Ew. I'm going to go Treadwell. There.
What kind of year this has been?
I know.
I mean, the only thing, so the positive with Galladay is the targets he's been seeing. I mean, not that he's done a ton with him, but 7 targets, 5, 8, 7, and 8 over the last 5 weeks of the season. So he's seeing a pretty decent target share. They're also going to be without old Kadarius Toney. So I don't know. It's not great, but this year has just been wild. Just been wild. Laquan Treadwell, Cordero Patterson, like so many guys, Devonta Freeman, dusting it off the dust from, and just so many different guys that have been fantasy relevant this year that you'd have told me heading into this year that any of these guys would have been, I would have said no. But
I mean, Treadwell has been consistent in his own right as well. Since week 12, he has not had under 50 receiving yards in any of those games. Now, granted, he doesn't have a great ceiling, but if you're playing in a full PPR, he has given you almost double-digit points every week since week 12. And one thing I have to bring up right now, if you guys aren't familiar with Pro Football Reference, the website, whenever you pull up a player, like they'll have like nicknames for them and what they're called. Has anyone ever called Laquan Treadwell Mega Quan? That can't
I
be a
have
thing.
not ever heard that one.
No,
I've heard
that
a
is
lot of plays on the Megatron name. People trying to come up with stuff, Legatron and all this other stuff, but I have not heard
Megatron.
Mega Quan. I have not heard that.
No, not at all. A couple more here. Higgins, Devonta Smith, St. Brown, pick one in a standard for Matt.
I'm gonna go Higgins.
Yep, going Higgins as well. Raja back with us, and apologies, I'm not even trying to. I'm just shorting this up with Raja. I hope that's all right. Have PPR need to Jefferson, Metcalf, Penny, St. Brown.
Jefferson. Man. And
I'm going Penny and St. Brown.
I'm going to go Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf.
So, literally the least helpful answer we could have given. I'm locking in Penny just because of the touches he's going to see. And then
I don't mind that either. I don't mind Penny over Metcalf. If you want to do that, that's fine. Like I don't have any problem with that. But like kind of like we talked about with Justin Jefferson, I'm not sitting Justin Jefferson in this situation. I just can't do it. I would hate myself and have to. There's no comebacks. There's no takey backies here. With takey backies, what am I?
You can't triple stamp or double stamp.
But with no time, I mean, this is it. This is the championship, right? So there's no next week. There's no okay, I made a bad decision this week. I come back next week. There is no more next week, right? So I would hate to have to live the entire offseason knowing that I sat Justin Jefferson, right? I just can't do it. He is just he's too good. So Metcalf makes some sense because he's been very volatile this year. It's a great matchup against the Lions, but Rashad Penny also this run first offense. So if you want to go Penny, it does make some sense at a half-point PPR. So, yeah, but there's no way I'm sitting Justin Jefferson. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Yeah, Jefferson's right there with me for St. Brown. I don't think it's I don't think it's easy to sit Justin Jefferson whatsoever. I don't know. Just and I get what you're saying with probably seeing 12, 13, 14, 15 targets in that game. I just lean St. Brown just by a smidge. Patty Fry or Noah Fant in a standard for Matt. That is going to be Patty Fry for both of us.
Yeah, Patty Fry.
I'm playing for Ron here. Replace Chase with Dylan. Replace Scary Terry with Gabe Davis.
I don't know. I mean, Dylan, if things go the way that they have gone in the past, in the second half, he could be the guy. So I don't mind that. And then Terry, I can't place it. I can't.
Yeah. Freeman or Foreman, full PPR for live creation.
I'm going to go to Devonta Freeman.
Yeah, full PPR. Give me Freeman. Would we go Huntley over Trey Lance? Yes.
When I first read that, it almost read it as Lamar's cousin is hurt. I was like, what? But no, yeah, it makes sense. I'm going Huntley.
Yeah, going Huntley over Lance as well. Any last minute questions, guys, please jump into the Discord and ask us over there. We're going to hop off here. We have some lineups to tinker with ourselves. Like I said, going to be doing a little bit of content this week with those came in hot and heavy. Raising 5 kiddos, kudos to you. I've won, and that's too much sometimes. Any chance Jefferson, Cook, and other Vikings struggle with a backup quarterback in?
There's definitely the chance that happens for sure. It's just I'm not just going to sit a guy blindly just because of a backup quarterback. We've seen plenty of backup quarterbacks play this year and the starters be just fine. So
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I can't sit Justin Jefferson, and when they have nobody, they don't. I mean, Adam Thielen's out. Generally speaking, we see backup quarterbacks really lean on that kind of star wide, that star that's in there. So, I mean, he very well could see 15 to 20 targets. And while they might not be high quality targets, I can't sit those guys. Those guys have such high ceilings, even if it isn't with the backup quarterback, that I don't really know what to expect. I think you still go with them, and I think you just ride them out.
What about Taysom or Russ Wilson?
I mean, the Seattle game isn't really bad weather. I think there's expected a little bit of rain. The wind's not really a problem, so I'm not worried about that. Taysom obviously has far higher rushing upside. I think he has a safer floor, where Russ I think has a higher ceiling. So I think those two are closer than they ever should be. I just lean a little bit more towards Russ. Working off the play action and everything else.
Yep, I agree there. Start one here for Alex Renfro, Cook, St. Brown. Worried about the weather.
I'm going to go with St. Brown.
I'm going to go Renfro. Or, no, man. I'm going to go Cooks. Give me Cooks there. I'm going Brandon Cooks. I do like all those options, and I could get myself to go for any of them. But I'm going to go a little bit more on the upside there with Brandon Cooks. Barkley or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore for me as well. This one for Casey, 1 running back, 1 flex. Jacobs, Javonte, Singletary, or Devonta Smith?
Josh Jacobs and Devin Singletary.
Javonte and Singletary.
I can't sit Josh Jacobs in the amount of touches he sees, pass catching work that he sees. I can't sit Josh Jacobs.
Just don't love the matchup with Indy's run D.
I don't either, but with him seeing so many targets now, it's not as big of a concern for me.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs would be third for me. Devonta Smith would be last out of this group. I just feel slightly Singletary's locked in for me with the amount of touches that he's going to see in a great matchup. And then Javonte would just barely be second there for me. If you had to make the decision between Howard or Boston Scott, where are you leaning here for Juve?
Boston Scott.
Boom. There you have it. Appreciate all you guys. Really, truly appreciate all the support and interaction we've had with you guys this year. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, hit the Discord if you have any other last-minute questions you want to drop in there or just to keep the conversation going all year. We're not going anywhere. Please hit us with that sub and that like. We'll talk to you all soon. Let's go get those chips, and we'll talk to you all.
This is Foster Moreau.
Moreau for me as well. Good luck to everybody. Talk to you soon. Get those chips. Goodbye.